Reza.
Banchern.
Pedal.
Thank you very much. Ban Viola.
Black Feather.
Pick Lance, ban Grace.
Ten seconds. Time.
Grumpjaw. Grumpjaw. Silver now.
Ten
Pick
seconds.
Rona.
Ten seconds.
Pick Kane.
Lyra.
So once more, we see a Black Feather first pick, which I always find interesting. But he's always like one of those heroes, right? You don't necessarily counter too much, other than I guess early game pressure. I think both drafts are relatively even, but I think that still Team Humpers, they have a lot of good engage with that Rona, the Cane, and the Lance. The one thing that is slightly unsettling, I should say, is that the Rona is in jungle, and it might not be her best position in 3v3. But nonetheless, I think even then, Rona can scale pretty well into the late game. But I think the Silver Nail here is going to have a lot of say in how he places those tripwires, and that is going to matter in the team fights.
Okay, we will have to see, as it looks like the teams are just getting into there. Yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing the Rona in the jungle, as you mentioned, unless we see something absolutely crazy and see a jungle Kayn come out. So yeah, who do you think is going to be able to take the early game here? What are teams going to be looking to do level 1?
Well, we know that Blackfeather is not that strong at level 1, especially compared to like a Kayn, who just has 3 basics and then a Lance with his impales. But I think, depending on how it goes, I think this will be more of a equal brawl in the mid, close to the Elder Treant, because you have Lyra, she can place her sigil down, and that creates a lot of zoning across, and combined with her basic attack, which does a lot of damage. And I think neither team here is to be underestimated at any point in time, to be honest.
Okay, well, both of these teams managed to get to the get through their semifinals and to the finals for a reason. Here we have it. This is the game 1 of the grand finals. This is a best of 5 series. We're guaranteed to see at least 3 games. This is extremely exciting. Everybody is kind of rotating out onto the map. Game 1 of the grand finals right now.
Here we go. Team Humpers being already aggressive, right? But we see the Lyra being very good with her basics whenever she can.
And there we go. As we see a double cam come out, but like the Kayn damage is already being really huge. Just the simple basic attacks. They're splitting the damage up. We do see 2 flasks come out for the side of the Chubby Bunnies, and now Kayn is maybe just a little bit mispositioned. He goes back in and he's taking unnecessary damage from D'Enzio on that Silver. Now, meanwhile, Cosime is also extremely low, and somehow it looks like Humpers was winning that team fight for a long time, but then all of a sudden, the side of Chubby Bunnies just completely turned it around.
Yeah, I think that Lance missing that impale at level 1 was kind of crucial. That is a lot of potential damage that did not happen. And ultimately, I think that is where they should have backed off once that Lance missed his impale. And but regardless, nobody died. And Ultia did get his jungle treant at the end. So
yeah, that's
nothing
right.
too bad.
No, nothing too bad at all, Gumpy. Kayn was poked down a little bit, which means that D'Enzio now is just going to have free farming in the lane here, and he's going to be able to push that wave up. And you know that with that wave management, they're going to be trying to get a nice big fat wave going just in time to rotate down for the second Elder Treant.
Yeah, you see Ultia again, right? He's already at the mid treant. He's one to be aggressive, right? He wants to see if there's anything to steal. As Lance Kosan takes a lot of damage. Oh, he just survives. Barely.
Huge tripwire.
So much pressure.
That just perfectly placed tripwires just do so much damage, even onto a ledge. Now Ulti is completely by himself. You have a 3-man rotation down. The kill does go onto the Lyra. Kayn is just trading a huge amount of damage, perhaps if he had a little bit more confidence there, but no, he ran out of basic attacks. He only has 6 of those and then needs to recharge, so he's not able to burst through that Silver Nail. That is an early kill going on to the Lyra. Ultia goes down on Rona.
Yeah, that is definitely not the start they wanted. Getting a kill here, this is kind of crucial. You don't want to do that. Plus a little bit of lag as well from Ultia. That is a slight disadvantage now from the side Team Humpers, and also a strong early game from Chubby Bunnies, playing well once again.
Yeah, very good, very clean. Amato has a little bit of a minion wave advantage here. Both the Blackfeather and the Lyra are recalling, so this is a 2v1 just for a moment, but they decide to just back off and not push their advantage in that lane. Not too much going on. What do you expect to see here for the next minute or so?
Well, to be honest, I'm not expecting any big pressure. We still have that Blackfeather, right? His strong power spike is that level 8, assuming he's CP, of course, which I think he is. So for now, Blackfeather, he's gonna try to steal when he can, but other than that, he's not gonna do any big fighting right away.
And there we go. We have a little bit of a fight breakout in the jungle, and the Rona just gets bursted down. The Blackfeather and the Lyra do too much damage. Both Rona and the Lance go down. That's turning into a little bit of disaster in the jungle for the side of the Humpers.
If we're watching an OTS stream, he actually just had a huge lag spike, so that death was entirely up to just lag, not even his fault.
Oh
That
no,
was
that's
sort of unfortunate.
super unfortunate. I did miss that on my screen. Sorry, Gumpy. But it's unfortunate. That's a really bad time to have a huge lag spike. He does come back and he does a little bit of damage under the turret. But you hate to see games and kills being decided by lag.
Yeah, maybe if we donate $1, maybe we can fix lag in the future. Yeah, but we will have to see. Rona taking treatment on her side. She's now a little bit on the back foot. Blackfeather is going to scale. He might even be level 6 at this point. He probably is. And once he gets to level 8, he will start to be more aggressive, more confident with that huge on point that he will have.
And there we go. Amato landing a good triple tap onto the Lyra, but it's just not doing that much damage yet. He's only level 6. His ult is the exploding damage does a little bit. The caustic blessing from from Dienzio is doing just able to burn through that Kane's health bar, even though it's not a CP Silvernail. That's already doing a lot of damage as another fight is breaking out in the jungle and Rona goes down again. Blackfeather is able to take out that Rona, and now this is a 2v3 on the map for the next couple seconds as Lance is just horribly mispositioned. Blackfeather just chasing down that Lance. He goes down too. The jungle is just being completely taken over by Neonfire and Nico.
Yeah, it's just the Rona's not doing as much as we'd hope. Part of that is, I think, due to lag, but also just in the matchup. I think Chubby Bunnies are just rotating a lot more cleanly together, and just overall positioning is very solid from their team. As we see again, Dienzio going back. He has his lane pushed and goes back just in time as the wave crashes to get some ambient in the jungle.
Yep, and now everybody's just kind of focusing on farming. Yeah, it looks like not too much going on again. One objective I'm expecting to see is in 10 seconds the gold miner is going to be completely full. We're going to have to see which team decides to go for that first.
Yep, I think with the lead that Chubby Bunnies has, it's almost guaranteed that they will do it first. I think it's just, but we can see here, right? They are all three in lane. They want to get that first turret to open up the map. As we see Rona fighting here and getting really low.
There we go. Rona just using her ultimate to try to do a little bit of damage and to not get stunned there, but she's have to instantly jumped out. Rona can sometimes be surprisingly squishy as a huge root is landed onto Dienzio, but the Lyra's able to completely heal up that health bar from 0 to 100. Kosame is now the one that's getting poked down, and Neon is going to take, no, he does not take one more turret shot. So Lance goes down, nothing is traded for it, and now Amato is super low on this Kane. The Lyra's going to try to use her portal to go through and get the kill onto the Kane. She's not able to do it, but Dienzio picks up that first tier turret, and that's going to really just open up the map.
Yeah, I'm sure in BC they were wanting to get that first turret ASAP. Now that they have done so, right, the map is further open, and I think now they will start going for the gold miners, yeah, just take over the game even more.
Okay, well, it's 7 minutes in, and it's a 5k gold difference. You don't want to be playing against a Blackfeather and Silvernail who are extremely ahead. But maybe this is the time where now the Humpers think they can take the first turret. They're just going to try to burst it down, even though the entire side of the Chubby Bunnies is there. I'm not so sure about that. The War Treads come through from the side of Nico. The Rona's already super low. They did maybe about half of the turret's health bar, but with Rona being extremely low, Kane having a little bit of his health bar missing, and with the Lyra on the side of Chubby Bunnies, as much damage as they take, if they don't die, they can just heal it all right back up with that Lyra.
Yep. So now we're thinking, right? We see the Blackfeather. He is level 8. That is his on point, now overdriven. And that is so much damage. As it gets stolen again by Neon, that is such a shame. Not everything, not what they wanted for Team Humpers. This is quite frankly, such a big difference as Rona is in fighting.
Rona's in there fighting. She's trying to use her ultimate to go right into Dienzio and is actually doing a huge amount of damage. The fountain does come out just at the exact right moment from Neko, but Dienzio having to stay back here a little bit. But now it's just the Kane left alive. Lance is trying to get in there and do some damage, but he's not able to. Amato goes reverse through the portal just to try to get away, but it's not enough. The Chubby Bunnies get a nice clean ace onto the side of Humpers, and now they're going to just take this gold mine.
Yeah, there's just nothing that Team Humpers can do. This is just very one-sided. I think the Rona, just in general, is just not doing as much as perhaps Ultia would have hoped. It is a 10-0. It is a very clean game from Chubby Bunnies once again. They're really playing out of their minds at this point.
Yeah, it's just clean gameplay from them. We did see a couple of lag spikes at the beginning, but it's one of those things where I just want to point out, like you mentioned, perhaps the Rona is not the best pick to go into that Black Feather.
Yep, I think that in the mid game, the Rona might have had a chance, especially also level 1. We saw that the engage Ultia was the Rona a little bit stronger. But I think Chubby Bunnies, they play around their power spikes well. They know when they're strong, and this is why they are ahead as well. Now that the Black Feather, he's going to keep scaling. The on points, they're going to hurt as much as anything. And I think that will stop Team Humpers a lot from getting anywhere close while the Black Feather just keeps on pointing every couple seconds.
Yep, and now here they've stacked up just a little bit of a wave. There's all 6 people. They're all just kind of posturing in lane. The Kane and the Rona are just trying to share a little bit of that golden experience in lane. Now, there's a really good engage going to Nico. He's forced to use the portal to get out. Ultia can't stick to him, and there we go. The health bar just gets healed directly back up. Everybody goes reverse back through the portal. Dienzio gets super low. The fountain comes out from the side of Lyra and the heal to try to keep him alive. Dienzio just knows his limits, though. He doesn't go down. Meanwhile, Blackfeather is able to just engage onto the Kane. He takes him out very, very quickly. Rona goes down. She's too squishy to survive at this point, being this far behind. They're going to try to chase down Lance, Kosame on that Lance, but Neon does miss his last on point there, so Lance does at least get away, but this is going to be the second lane turn going down for the side of Humpers.
Yeah, we see Chubby Bunnies slowly but surely taking inch by inch of the map. 12-0, they're not giving any kills over. There is no bounties going over from to Team Humpers. Chubby Bunnies knows this, they don't want to give anything over, and that's why they are... You see them a little bit more relaxed. They're not hyper-aggressive. They just fight exactly when they need to, when they want to, and that is why they keep winning all these fights and these team fights.
Yeah, there's really not much more to be said, Gumpy. It's just like very, very clean gameplay, no mistakes, don't die, sit back, relax, collect the gold miners, get the objectives off the map. Kraken's going to spawn. They know that they're going to be able to win that Kraken fight when it comes up, and they're going to try to close out this game, but they don't even have to rush because they also have a strong late game as well, so they can just keep on playing like this for as long as this game keeps going on.
Yep, we see Rona fighting there again, her ultimate saving, but the Lyra portal comes in.
And there we go. Lyra portal comes in. Ultia is just a little bit mispositioned there. He tried to use the red mist to save himself, but it's not enough. And now Kosame is also a little bit out of position, but they understand the side of the Chubby Bunnies that the gold miner is still on the map. They might go on to that, but they only have 7 seconds to take it. I don't think they're going to be able to do enough damage in time. We're going to have to see. It's going to be extremely close. They get it at the last half second. 400 gold each.
Look at that sort of precision from Chubby Bunnies. Very well, just before the Kraken spawns. Very well done for them. And again, right, we see the Kraken. I don't think there's going to be any contest from Team Humpers. It is 13-0. Super clean game from Chubby Bunnies. They haven't set a foot wrong. They just... Every engage, every positioning has been flawless at this point.
Yeah, and it's just under 10k gold lead. There would have to be a massive, massive mistake coming out from the side of Chubby Bunnies. And honestly, with the way they're playing, they've made no mistakes the entire tournament. So to see something of that type of mistake come out, I just don't think that we're going to see it. Now, the side of the Humpers look like they're a little bit mispositioned here. The Chubby Bunnies are just right above them, and so like they're not going to be able to get back to their base. Perhaps they're kind of positioning for a Kraken fight, but look at this macro coming out from Chubby Bunnies. They understand that they can just march down the lane and force the fight. They're hard engaging onto the Kane, Blackfeather is, and the Rona's just left completely all by herself. Blackfeather does go down to the Kane. That is a massive bounty going onto the Kane. Is it too little too late, though? Kane's just going to try to get out and recall. Meanwhile, Kosame is going to get chased down by Nico and Dienzio, so it's going to be a 1v2 for the next 10 seconds, but that's a 1k bounty going onto the Kane.
Yeah, I'm going to say that is the first kill. The gold lead has decreased, I think. Now it's only 8,000. You can just see how much, even a single death, right? How much gold that is for the side of Team Humpers. And if from their win condition, how far they are behind, this is what you want to do. You want to get a kill. one, two at a time. Make sure like to capitalize on any mistake that Chubby Bunnies will do, and then you get a bounty off of that.
Rona just going in and absolutely face checking that bush. The rebuke into the tripwire stuns her. Not sure what she was trying to accomplish there. They didn't have any vision in that bush, and she just walked right in and was instantly bursted down. And now this is just going to be a completely free Kraken for the side of the Chubby Bunnies.
Yep, definitely so. They're so far ahead that it really doesn't matter what they do. They can take fights even with mediocre positioning, which they don't. Each of them knows exactly what they're doing, and I think it could be over very soon.
Yeah, well, I think the side of the Chubby Bunnies is going to do their best to win it with this cracking push, but I think they also understand that they don't have to. Even if they just got the choke point turret here, that would be enough. They're so far ahead, and they feel that they're the ones that are playing better and cleaner. They're not going to try to force anything or bite off more that they can chew here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Chubby Bunnies leave after this choke point, or perhaps not even push as aggressively as they could, because they know that there's no need to overextend. There's always another time to take Kraken. And yes, they are going in. They are pretty confident, but we see they just want to get the turret.
Yep, very, very safe play. They're looking for a misposition from the side of Humpers, but now they're kind of rotating down on the other side of that Kraken. I think they're going to try to get at least this first base turret, but no, they're kind of backing off. Dienzio's just trading basic attacks with Amato. Rona goes in. It's a huge red mist onto two, but she's completely by herself. Amato's not able to follow up with that damage, and there comes the Lyra portal into the bright bulwark. And Kane tries to escape through the backside of the portal, but it's too little, too late. The Sylvanero basic attacks just follow him through the portal, and that is going to be game one going on to the side of Chubby Bunnies.
Yeah, that was honestly amazing play from Chubby Bunnies. I have to say, maybe the Rona, the double weapon, the Rona jungle might not be the best pick, in the jungle. I feel like there might be other picks that are available. And I think Team Humpers would know this, and they'll try to fix that in the future.
Banter.
Viola.
What?
Balance.
Black Feather.
Pick Grace.
Lyra. Go. Pedal.
Access denied. What do you mean?
Ban Kane. Quicksilver now.
Kestrel and Samuel.
There, God. /. 100%.
Pick Alpha.
I think it is slightly better than last draft. I think Humpers knows that as well. We see a lot of comfort picks again from Chubby Bunnies. We see the Samuel, the Lyra, and the Kestrel. All three of them, they have been picked before. We know that all three of them, they know how to play this hero at extremely high level, and it's been working for them really well. The thing I like about Humpers is the fact that they took away the silver nail that Dienzio likes so much and decided to play it for themselves, and then picked an alpha, something that is quite interesting into that comp, because on one hand, it can really snowball and do really well against Samuel and the Kestrel. However, if the alpha does not get ahead, I think it could be another stomp from Chubby Bunnies, but that will be very interesting.
Okay, we're gonna have to see what ends up happening here. Give me just one moment. I'm just kind of finishing up trying to get my stream looking somewhat okay, at least acceptable. All right, so it looks like we have both teams are kind of rotating down to the middle, and the level 1 fight is just breaking out. Kestrel, we know, is extremely strong, level 1, and the side of the Chubby Bunnies is pushing back the Humpers. They don't want to have a repeat of what happened last game.
Yep, there we go. Alpha taking a lot of damage, but most importantly, she secures her jungle trait, and that's what matters. We know how always so much pressure from the side of Chubby Bunnies. You have the Kestrel, amazing level 1, and then you have a Lyra too with her basics and of course her abilities that make her really solid. So that is the Elder Treant going down for Chubby Bunnies, as expected. Their level 1 is a little bit strong, but of course Alpha is level 2, and they might be looking for an invades towards Chubby Bunnies.
Yeah, and it looks like the Humpers now are the ones that are able to put on the aggression. Alpha is not that scared when she gets low, because we know she does have that extra life, and she just engages directly onto Neon, and she has to pop the flash to stay alive. Almost gets rooted, but manages to not, and Altia manages to pick up the healing treant on that Alpha, but the Bright Bulwark just completely stops the engage, and now Altia might be a little bit caught out of position as an Alpha. You don't want to go down. The tripwires are just doing so much work. Altia decides to go back in, but he's not able to do enough damage, and perhaps we might even see a motto on this Silver Nail going down as well. The side of the Chubby Bunnies is chasing him across the map, but no, he just has a well-positioned tripwire to silence them, and he's able to get away back to his lane.
Well, as we can see, the Alpha doing the right thing, right? She is level 2, she's immensely strong at level 2, but perhaps she just maybe overextended a little bit. The pressure, the range, right? Because that is a 3-ranged comp from Chubby Bunnies that has to be respected against the Alpha. As we see Alpha here at the Elder Treant and getting it, securing the Treant and getting the kill onto Lyra as well.
And there we go. Alpha is just trying to win this game by herself. Now Neon is trying to kite back, and is it going to land? Yes, the Prime Directive lands, and that is a double kill for the Alpha. And Alpha also picks up the healing treant. Dienzio was not able to get any type of counter invade, and Lyra's back to try to do a little bit, and it looks like Lyra might have sealed it, but the Prime Directive, look at that beautiful team play. Kosame pulled down the healing treant so that the Prime Directive could land on it. Ulti is able to use it to get out, and Sylvanale is also pressuring Dienzio in lane. This game's turning out very different than game one so far.
Yeah, excellent team coordination there from Team Humpers, right? Pushing that treant down just so the Alpha could use her Prime Directive. And gotta say, this is more like it. Humpers making a statement. Don't rule us out just yet after game one. We can fight back. And we see Alpha, right? She is really strong in that sort of early to mid game especially. And this is showing why. And we see the invades from Ultia. He understands how this hero needs to be played. And I'm sure he'll be looking to go right back in.
And that's exactly what they're doing. And now he has a little bit of a shop under his belt. It looks like the side of the Chubby Bunnies are not even going to try to contest that. So now Ultia picks up another center treat, and he's the one who ends up at level 6. Neon is only level 4. The Humpers are just wildly ahead right here. Who got that treant? It did go on to Dienzio. That was a little bit of a cheeky steal from their side. So they're going to feel good about at least stealing away that center treant, but right now it is the Humpers who are in control of this map.
Yep, indeed. This is the alpha that we talked about, that if she gets ahead, she has a great time to go even further and probably win this game. But the problem is now that because Chubby Bunnies has a 3-range comp, Alpha needs to be really careful with her engages and decide when she does it, because if she gets poked down too much, as she engages here, and ooh, so much damage done by Alpha, very well done.
Yeah, and Alpha just does a giant chunk of burst damage, and again, like, she has her second life back up, so she's not that scared to take some of those engages. She doesn't have to be quite as careful as some of the other assassins in the game might have to be there.
Yep, so we see Alpha going back. She is level 7 right now, and perhaps she's thinking, right, because we see the Sylvanale she doing a good amount of pressure and holding himself in lane against Dienzio. We see Alpha being aggressive. He has that level advantage, and yes, that is a last hit again for the jungle treant. Very good invade.
And there we go. Now just a very clean rotation. Ultia tries to land that Prime Directive over the wall. That had to scare Dienzio just a little bit. Neon throwing out just a couple of Malice and Verdicts just for a zoning, and everybody's just going to bounce off each other and go back and farm the respective lanes of jungles.
Yeah, so now we see that the Samuel, he is not that fed, so he's not going to be that much of a danger coming into the mid game. This is mainly going to be Kestrel. Kestrel has gotten quite a good amount of CS as well in lane, and she's going to be the one to watch out for.
Yep, and well, we're just 25 seconds away from having a completely full gold miner on the map. That's going to be the next big objective these teams are looking for. They're going to be trying to get the first tier turret so they can apply map pressure, and they're going to be trying to get that gold miner to get the 1200 gold.
Yeah, we can see that based from the past, we know Chubby Bunnies loves to get that first turret very early and make sure that it goes down. Here we see Team Humpers being a little bit more aggressive towards the gold miner. Perhaps they really want to start a fight as Alpha does not last hit and secure the treant.
No, she was waiting to pop her infusion, perhaps a little bit too late. That little bit of extra damage. Now her entire first life is almost completely down. The Grace tries to use the Benediction, but it doesn't land on anybody. We see the Oblivion come down from the Samuel. It also does not land. A good tripwire to just for a little bit of zoning. I think that the Bulwark should still be up for the Lyra. As the first life of Ultia goes down, Amato is also extremely low. The Divine Intervention and the Fountain come through. Amato's life is completely healed back up. And there's the Grace B. A big stun is landing. Now the Fountain comes through from the side of the Chubby Bunnies. And everybody lives through that team fight, and the gold miner is still just wailing away. It's actually attacking Dienzio right now, so his health bar is going down. He's going to throw a couple of glimmer shots over the wall. The Grace is forced to pop out her flask, and Dienzio's completely healed up. Ultia tries to re-engage, but there's a huge tripwire that comes down. The Kestrel goes down. The Alpha goes down, but Sylvanale and Grace are extremely low. Yes, a Malice and Verdict is going to go through and just land right on to the side of the Chubby Bunnies. That is a 2-for-1 trade for the Chubby Bunnies.
That was such a beautiful sort of brawl that was going on there. Both teams tiptoeing their way with low HP from both sides, and I really love that engage from Alpha towards the Kestrel, knowing that he will most likely die, but at least he's going to take the Kestrel with him, which he did. So now both teams, I think, are relatively even, and this game seems much more competitive than game one.
Yeah, the one shot, one kill goes out and lands on nobody. And again, we're seeing the power of that Lyra. They keep on giving that Lyra away to the Chubby Bunnies. As Grace goes in, she lands that benediction, try to get a little bit of slow onto D'Enzio, but Silvernail is just getting poked down, and they just don't have the same amount of sustain. Yes, the Grace does have that divine intervention, but that is just one burst heal onto one hero. In like a single team fight, but the Lyra can just keep on throwing down those heals, those sigils again and again. The Bright Bulwark comes through, it almost completely kills the Alpha, as we see an Oblivion come down and it sleeps everybody. The Alpha tries to use a Prime Directive to go back in, but the Bright Bulwark stops it, and we have seen more heals coming through from the Lyra. And this siege, you can just see the power of the Lyra when you're sieging. Just heal again and again and again. This sustain is so hard to deal with. And there's a huge rebuke that gets landed onto the Kestrel. The Kestrel's super low, but now we see the Drifting Dart come through the Samuel. They're trying to engage. The first turret does go down. We see a Divine Intervention come through and heal back up on the side of the Humpers. Now they continue to engage. The Fountain comes out for the Chubby Bunnies. Everybody is low on the side of the Humpers, but they're still deciding to engage, and they're chasing down now. The Alpha already went down. They're going to chase down the Grace. She's probably going to go down. We'll see if Silvernail can get out. The Drifting Dark, Malice and Verdict, and Grace is just tanky enough to keep living. Neon's trying to chase on her turret. He takes 2 turret shots to try to get the kill. Does not get it. That was just a beautiful team fight for the side of the Chubby Bunnies.
Yeah, honestly, Chubby Bunnies again playing a little bit better. We see both the Lyra Bulwarks at the right time just to stop the Prime Directive when it matters. And we see again, right? We know the Alpha, she wants to engage, but with the three ranged comp from Chubby Bunnies, she really does not have many options because she's just gonna get poked down again by Kestrel, by Samuel, and even the Lyra basic attacks, which are not to be underestimated at all. Now we see Team Humpers again, maybe going for the gold miner, perhaps not though, because the lane is getting pushed and they need to answer that.
Yeah, the lane is getting pushed up a little bit. And here we go. They're kind of rotating around, and the Chubby Bunnies were hiding back. The Bright Bulwark does not go off. The Alpha Prime Directive does land, but she wasn't able to get another one in. The Oblivion comes in just to sleep the Alpha, just as she was waking up for her infinite reboot. But once again, the teams are just going to bounce off of each other, and with the Lyra Imperial Sigil, she's going to try to land that just to heal everybody up again. And once again, we just see the massive amount of sustain. The Samuel just has his perk to do his own sustain, and the Lyra with the Imperial Sigil is able to heal everybody back up. So again, if these team fights go on for a long time, you can just see the power of a Lyra.
Yep, and again, you see the Bulwark coming out, trying to stop the Alpha whenever she can. And it is just, Lyra works so well into this comp, right? You have that 3-range comp that we've been talking about all this time, and she can just keep healing them while they put out continuous damage towards the Alpha. And they don't have that same amount of sustain. Even with the Grace, who has a huge Divine Intervention, it's just not on the same level as Lyra heal. And ultimately, I think that is what keeps Chubby Bunnies ahead. That constant poke towards the Alpha, towards the Silvernail, might not have the highest range in the game, and we just see how much they suffer from this.
Yeah, I would like to see a lot of times Ulti on that Alpha is using his Prime Directive to go in. I would really like to see the Grace go in also with her Benediction. I think the only chance that the Humpers have at this point is they have to kind of hard engage. You can see the poke of the Malice and Vertex that come down. If you just get poked down this low before the team fight even starts, you're not really going to have that much of a chance. The huge... The ult comes out from the Alpha, and it only lands on the Lyra. It does 900 damage, but that's not the hero that you want to land it on. The Divine Intervention comes through onto the Alpha to try to keep her alive, but the Silvernail is already dead. Grace is now being chased down. She's probably going to go down. Yes, there it is. That is another 2-0 kill for the side of the Chubby Bunnies.
Yeah, they don't have any answer, right? The Bulwark, it stops the Prime Directive from doing anything, and even if it goes through, Kestrel is always there with her mists, placing them down and making sure that Alpha cannot do anything dangerous. And then, of course, you have Samuel as well. He, coming back from that sort of poor early game that he had, but now he's doing continuous damage from range without being able to be damaged from the Alpha.
And there we go. Ulti decides to go in. That's kind of a 1v2, but the Oblivion somehow doesn't land. It looked like it landed on my screen, but we'll have to see about that. The mortal wound is just... Oh, the Alpha lives on just a single bar of health, but now Grace is caught a little bit out of position. She lives too. The one-shot, one-kill, Grace was able to body block that, and everybody lives for the side of Humpers. That was a little bit scary, Gumpy.
Gotta say though that was very good Grace play from Kusami. That body block, to see that Ultia probably would have died on that Alpha, but the body block to stop the Malice and Verdict from coming out and killing her, yeah, it saved Alpha right there in that fight.
Yeah, there was just a very, very nice play. Now here we go. Ultia decides to go in again with the Prime Directive and the Crucible to try to stop the Bright Bulwark. I really like it, but now they have too much damage at this point. Alpha's just not tanky enough. This has gone on too long. The Malice and Verdicts and the Glimmer Shots are just hitting like a truck. It's not like earlier in the game, and there's a portal, and it actually forces Amato back out onto the map, which means that now they're going to be able to chase him down. He's walking back towards his own Crystal Sentry, but the one-shot, one-kill hits perfectly, and then the Malice and Verdict comes out from the Samuel to finish it off. It is now a 5k gold difference at 14 minutes.
Yeah, indeed. Chubby Bunny's playing very well again, and they have the comp to back up for it. So much poke added with the sustain from the Lyra, and I think into game 3, if we get to that, Humpers might be thinking about banning that Lyra perhaps, or the Samuel.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Kusami trying to post her, and he goes in for a cheeky steal. He's by himself, though, and he just gets away. Dienzio is too low on energy and is forced to recall. He will be back in time for the Kraken push. I like the cheekiness from the side of Kusami. It's a good thing he didn't go down there, though.
Yep, indeed. It was good for the steal, and also good for him to not die, because that is one of the worst things that can happen. If you try to go for a steal and you don't, and then, yeah, you just take your death for it as well.
Well, I just saw some infusions come out from the side of the Humpers. They're trying to do as much damage as they can to this Kraken, but the poke from the Samuel is just absolutely oppressive. You can see how highly that Neon favors this pick. They've picked it up every single time it's been available, and you can starting to understand why. He loves this pick in the jungle. It's just so much siege, so much poke, and with those two melee heroes on the side of the Humpers, they're not going to have enough engage here in order to stop it. I think that the answer is going to focus the Crystal, and that's exactly what they're doing. Both of the carries are a little bit low for the side of Chubby Bunnies. They're focusing the Crystal. Are they going to be able to do enough damage? There comes the Fountain. It's coming through the Bright Bulwark to stop the engage, and the Crystal does go down. So that is Chubby Bunnies picking up another extremely clean game, 3-10. That is game 2 going to the Chubby Bunnies.
Reza.
Ban Sharon.
Black Feather.
Ban Viola.
Lyra.
Pick battle.
10 seconds. 5 seconds. Kosame.
Ban Vox.
Silver nail ban. Samuel.
Pick Yates. I already fed him.
10 seconds.
Huh?
5 seconds.
Pick Castro. Yeah.
10 seconds.
Kane.
It looks like we're going to have a special guest caster, Gumpy. It's going to be Lovely Bones. You guys can break it down for us.
Alright, cool. Gumpy, first thoughts?
Yeah, so I think this time the draft has been. I think I actually favor the side of Humpers, to be honest. Considering it's a three-ranged comp once again for Chubby Bunnies, I think the Yates pick could prove pretty well into this comp.
Yeah,
You
I
have
actually...
Pedal.
Go ahead.
You have Pedal and Kestrel as well, which is both very, very decent picks. They've been picked a lot in this tournament, and most of them have a very positive win rate as we go into the draft.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think the one flaw in, I think it was, Chubby Bunny's draft was, wait, hold on. Sorry, no, Humpers draft. I think the one mistake in Humpers draft is you put this Yates against a Lyra, a Kane, and a Samuel, thematically all of which are trying to kite back. So you're putting a lot of reliance on Yates landing these hooks, and if he's able to do that, then obviously the game becomes a lot easier. You can start picking off these champions, start getting these kills, but I think linchpin is going to be Yates in this game.
Yep, I think so too. They'll definitely have to play for picks. And this is what's going to happen, especially at level 1. The Bimosuma, whatever that ability is called, is going to be used right away.
Wolf's Maw, yeah. I think what's going to happen is you're going to see an early invade by Amato by the side of Humpers, and we're going to try and see if they can pick off. I think the best person to pick off here is going to be the Samuel. Again, you have to get this pick behind as we see a draft. The Wolfshot comes out, Lyra gets picked off. Lyra sounds still try to get away, but there's huge damage onto Alpha, which means they have to start cutting back. They can't do as much damage. There's a lot of poke being taken down by Kosame. It looks like Miko's gonna have to pop the flask as well, and it looks like the junglers are gonna go back to their camps to try and start clearing out their jungle, to try and get their clears going. So, Comfy, what's the impact here?
I really like, or I'm interested in this sort of really quick engage from Team Humpers. They didn't waste any time, but now they might pay for it with the Elder Treant as they cannot extend as much as they would want to.
Yeah, they took a lot of damage, especially Kestrel moving into that engage. I'm pretty sure Dienzio and Samuel were able to put some pretty serious damage down, which means they won't be able to contest it. So Kane moves into lane, he gets level 2 first. Obviously, if the support was here, this is an opportunity to try and kill Kestrel, who is only level 1. But Kestrel is going to recall, move back into lane, try and get some HP. Amato is back in lane now. And I think the way this is going to play out is... I'm just going to try and shove out lane as soon as possible, free up Kusami to start doing these very aggressive jungle invades. So I think what's going to happen is Altia is going to clear his front camp as soon as it respawns and then just move straight into the enemy camp. Try and contest the middle train as soon as possible to get those early advantages that he desperately needs against the Samuel.
Well, something we don't want to happen for the side of Team Humpers is for them to get behind. If you're Yates, you want to be at least even, or preferably even more ahead, and then you can just keep that advantage that you have. You can keep it going with those pulls that he can provide.
Yeah, so here we go. Altia starting with the Treant. Humpers is looking for a pick. Drifting Dart comes out. Samuel putting down a really good poke. The Treant goes over to Samuel. Humpers pulls in the DNZO, but it looks like it's not going to do enough damage. Kozami take it really, really low. Even after that pull, Altia has to go back out. It looks like, again, Team Chubby Bunnies are going to win out on this one. They're going to continue chasing. The backcamps are up. This is really bad. Amato goes really low, has a flask, but now there's damage onto Amato, both onto Altia. Altia manages to secure the train and is going after Dienzo, who's taken really, really low. First blood comes out for the Samuel onto the Kestrel. Petal trades one and will probably go down after taking away one of his camps. So, here I'm pretty sure Samuel is not as accelerated as he could have been. If he died, then I think since he died, he doesn't get as much value out of the camps, but I think he's still ahead here because he's able to clear out his own camps.
Well, I think considering the decision that happened there, I think the Petal made a good decision to get that kill onto DNZO and make sure that he gets ahead as well. And now the Petal, shortly going to be level 5. He's going to be desperately waiting to get that level 6 power spike that is so strong on Petal. As they cannot get the Elder Treant right now.
Yeah, it's really quickly bursted down by Kane. That double A combo is really, really nice. There's huge amounts of damage when you put down onto Nico, which means they're going to have to kite back. Amazing Crucible to block this pull, but it looks like it doesn't matter. He's going to go down anyway. Amato is fairly low. Dienzo's putting down some pretty decent damage. I don't know if they'll be able to pursue and try to take the ban camps, but Dienzo's going to be content with taking his lane farm. Samuel moves in with a Drifting Dart, playing aggressive against Altia. These Mouse and Bursts are landing. Dienzo one-taps the Petal and takes that kill, and now it looks like the Kane is to follow. Samuel is going to take out this Kestrel, and this is exactly what Humpers don't want, because thematically, Samuel is a champion that works really, really well against Petal, because Petal has to put those minions, which is her main damage source, directly in the face of those empowered Malice and Verdicts by Samuel. So in that Drifting Dark, Petal loses out really bad against Samuel. It is essentially a fairly useless champion since those minions do go down.
Well, it is slightly unfortunate to see these little bit of positioning issues. I think Petal could have slightly altered that positioning and maybe came out alive, but ultimately it wasn't to be. But I think regardless, Petal has that Shadow Glass now. She is level 6, and that is a big power spike. They might be wanting to do something here.
It is. Kusame needs to get a really big pull onto DNZO or Samuel to try and get this fight going. Otherwise, Lyra's sustains a bit too much, and the pull misses. They need to disengage now. Petal is put to sleep, which means he can't join the fight. That's a really good sleep, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to capitalize on too much, as the heal comes out again, stopping Petal from being in execute range of Kane's ultimate. And now the explosions are coming out. There's a pull onto Lyra that's huge. The block from Lyra gets the stun out, keeps her alive. The one shot, one kill finds its mark. Lyra does go down, and now it's a fight. Dienzio is really, really, really aggressive. The shot, which does damage on the way, not just at the middle, executes one person. Dienzio picks up some double kill, and he is shut down, which means that the bounty, a pretty decent bounty, does go over. But overall, I think that's a pretty big win for Humpers.
Yeah, but I also gotta say that that was a good double kill to make use of that already like a disadvantage for that what they were with Chubby Bunnies. Gotta say though that power spike, that pedal power spike, you see how much damage in the lane, how much use it gives at level 6 with that Shattered Glass. It's unreal.
I'm inclined to agree. I gotta say, now I think what the game is going to transition to is we're going to start seeing more and more scrappy fights. I think there's going to be very little focus on farming itself because these neutral objectives like Gold Mine are going to start popping up on the map. Teams are going to be prioritizing getting like minions and stuff. Are going to start deprioritizing it and instead start moving to where they can find these picks. And at this point, this is where the Yates becomes really, really powerful because you find one really good pick and suddenly you have a neutral objective open to you. The Drifting Dark is hitting onto the pedal again. We're seeing this huge amount of damage. He's able to heal it up. The Mortal Wound stops at Yates ults in to try and get some damage down, but he's able to protect himself. The Crucible to block the Yates pull is there. The support Lyra is so good at this. He is landing the Crucibles over and over. Now there's a siege onto the third. Usually Samuel's the one sieging, but this time it's going to be Humpers. They're going to be able to get their first target. I think Samuel did have to back, so he's going to come back from base with full HP and full mana, which could be able to turn the fight around. The Drifting Dark comes out. They did not respect Samuel, and now Samuel is in the Drifting Dark. He's hitting these Empowered Malice and Verdicts. Lyra portals in to slow down the pedal and kill him, and now Yates is going to fall as well with the slow from Kane's A and Samuel's Empowered Malice and Verdicts. And yeah, and DNC was taken really low. I'm surprised he didn't die, honestly.
Yeah, I think that was pretty well played from them. Gotta say though, that was so much good pressure from Team Humpers, but maybe they slightly overstayed again there at the enemy side of the turret. Or yeah, and ultimately it didn't work out for them as well. But regardless, they still are definitely in the game. If they want to come back, this is their last chance. This might be the potential final game. But I think Humpers, they definitely want to keep this going, keep the hope of winning everything going. And here they might be a little bit unsure of what to do next. Do they want to do the gold miner or perhaps not? As we see a little trade coming on.
Yeah, Kusami's taking about a quarter of his HP. Samuel was putting in some pretty decent work onto the pedal. He goes to sleep, and now Altia has to burn a charge of his ultimate to try and zone Samuel off. This is really big because that's one of the huge amounts of damage that Humpers has, which means that the side of Chubby Bunnies can use this advantage to try and force a gold mine. Kane uses his ultimate, but that's up with the reset from his B, so I'm not too worried about that. Samuel farms the lane and comes back. Now, here, the Kosame pick is here. The stun lands. The Crucible is not there. There's a huge amount of damage. Samuel gets shut down. That's so big. Yates ults into the fight. 1-1 kill does not land. Pedal is in the enemy team. He jumped over the wall. Dienzio is taking huge amounts of damage with the Pedal. The Bunnies are doing incredible work. Castro Skirmish shots land, and that's huge. That's a huge turnaround for Humpers. This is exactly what they needed. This is exactly what they wanted. They're not going to have time for the gold mine, but they're going to be able to get these jungle camps. They're going to be able to get the Kucho Central. They're going to be able to pick up these small resource advantages as Samuel tries to salvage what he can. But Humpers? Okay. Humpers.
Well, they might be overstaying a little bit. Score is 6-9, super nice. However, that is exactly what what they needed.
Nice.
Team Humpers showing that they are worth as oh no, as Kestrel gets exploded right there, and they start Chubby Bunny starting the gold miner right away.
Yeah, I think this overstaying thing is somewhat of a theme with Humpers. I mean, they don't seem to be respecting the fact that death timers at this point in the game are really, really low. It only starts getting really, really high at around like, the 12, 15-minute mark. So a fight isn't over until you kill a champion 2 times, unfortunately.
Yeah, indeed. I'm not sure what the goal difference is, but however, you gotta think that that pedal, if she gets onto the Kane cannot do much with his A's, so he is forced to use a basic attack built here. He cannot rely on his triple shot, and that is hindering him severely.
Yeah, and I think Dienzio's itemization here is pretty correct. He is going to be relying on his auto attacks more. He recognizes the threat that is pedal, so he's building crit. Remember, Kane's A does not scale with crit. If he was trying to focus on casting his abilities, then maybe one of the potential build options would have been to go like the standard bone saw breaking point build. But here he goes for the crit. He goes for the really big auto damage, and I think that's a pretty intelligent decision.
Yep. Gotta say though, I do like the draft decision again from Team Humpers. you see how scared the Enzio's team has to fight just because of the pull that is possible, as we see a little bit
Oh
of an
my
engage here.
god. The huge fountain by Kosami saves him. Oh, what is that heal SMC? That is a bug. Please fix it. Altia is able to put his team back to half HP pretty easily, but now the Samuel Drifting Dark has come out. He's gonna start laying down some pretty serious poke. Kesha's gonna come out clearly. The reflex block to stop the pedal stun was good, but there's not enough damage for lethal there. It looks like Amato's going to be forced to back off. Neon is still doing pretty significant damage against his pedal. The Drifting Dark does not stop the recall, and Pedal's going to just going to take her camps, reset a little bit, get rooted. Altia, you're inting. There is a huge amount of damage going on to Kasami. Is that a kill? Can that be X? That is execute range. If D'Ancio can find it. Kestrel is also taking a lot of damage. He goes down to the king. This is exactly what they do not need to be happening. They need to be fighting as a team. Alone, they stand no chance because obviously the siege is really, really big on the side of Chubby Bunnies.
Yeah, this is exactly as you say. You don't want to do this, not at this point of game. When the tournament is on the line, you want to give your best of performances, and perhaps a little bit more focus on that positioning is what you need. But regardless, one good Yates pull, I think, is what needed from Team Humpers to just take over a team fight. Granted that it's not crucible or whatever, if you can land that, that is the difference.
Yeah, I think if you do not land the Yates pull, you should not be going in. There is simply no way that you can win an extended team fight against picks like the Samuel, like the Lyra, who benefit a lot from healing. Remember, if Samuel is in the Drifting Dark, he heals for every single champion or every single entity that is harmed within it. So he's getting a lot of value out of his B by being in the zone. There's a lot of zone control from the side of Chubby Bunnies. I think it's a very intelligent draft decision, especially against someone like the Yates, because Samuel thematically, even if he gets pulled in, theoretically he should be okay.
Yep. Now that the Kraken is up, this changes the fight completely. There's no more gold miners to take. Getting a big gold leads.
Huge pull into D'Ancio. D'Ancio is separated from his team. He's gonna have to try and do damage. The Atlas Pauldron comes down onto the pedal, but it doesn't seem to make any difference. D'Ancio is able to get out. The fountain keeps him alive. The Lyra is doing huge amounts of healing. D'Ancio is trying to execute Altia, but it doesn't really get in range. But it means that he's gonna have an execute ready in another 5 seconds. Here we go. Everyone on Humpers is extremely low. D'Ancio with one good A execute could end the game right here, right now. And it looks like they're just going to back off because, again, Pedal does not have these ultimate charges. And it looks like Chubby Bunnies are not doing the Kraken either.
Yeah, well, they are lower in health, right? This is a good decision from the Humpers to leave it. You still have 3 turrets left, so even them taking a Kraken is not game over just yet. As long as all 3 of them survive. Also, good macro decision from Team Chubby Bunnies to get that sentry, and yeah, that's what you want to do.
Exactly. I would like to point out the sentry gives defensive stats, and guess who it's on? It's on Samuel. It's going to make it so much harder to deal with the extended poke that Samuel has. So I think it's a really good decision to put on Samuel, especially considering that Samuel's the type of champion that wants to be in a fight for a long time. This is going to help him do it. The Yates pull does miss though. That's a big problem. That's like a 7 second window that um Humpers cannot engage. Altia has 3 stacks of his ultimate. If he can get all 3 onto D'Anzio, there is a chance. There's a fight breaking out. Yates is trying to get in. He cannot. Again, this Lyra is so good at zone control. Samuel is moving in and out. First Altia charge, second Altia charge. And it looks like there's huge amounts of damage putting onto the pedal. The pedal is going to die very close to trading the kills with the king, but now Kusame and Amato have to run. They need to try and get away. Amato ults away. What a Chad, honestly. What a Chad move.
Yep. Again, very good trading. It's just Team Humpers. They cannot sustain this sort of thing. Not compared to a Lyra and Samuel with that endless amount of range and poke. That Yates really needs. That is their win condition, as it was mentioned before the start of the game. And now, Chubby Bunnies, they're taking the Kraken. They feel pretty confident in taking it. As the ends, you take some damage from the one shot, one kill.
Yeah, he doesn't have any lifesteal items, so the only healing that's going to come out is Lyra. He gets onto Amato. Oh my god. D'Anzio. There's a reason why you won Worlds in like 2017. I mean, granted, you might be a bit washed, but Jesus Christ.
Well, so back Dianzio taking the sentry. This is what you want to do. But the war treads going in yet slightly out of position. This is not what you want.
Yates does manage to try and get a 3-man stun, but like the Kettle is able to trade a kill. This could be the big turnaround. Samuel is getting really, really low. Altio is really, really healthy. He has the ability to turn this fight around really, really quickly. Yates is moving in. He does not get it onto there. The 1-shot 1 kill connects, but it will not be a kill. As he says, the dog will not get the biscuit. Lyra is being chased down like a dog. Oh my god. Now, here, keep in mind that Samuel is really good at kiting back. Nico is taking a lot of damage. Look, Yates is almost dead. Neon is in his Drifting Dark. This is at the point where he is most dangerous. Petal is thematically not able to do much, but even so, Altio is able to jump out of the Samuel ultimate, get that value, kill the Samuel, and this is a really, really big turnaround, Compy. This is a really big
Insane.
turnaround.
Honestly, I was a bit worried by their decision. Firstly, because we saw the Kraken, it was already taken, it was captured by Chubby Bunnies. But honestly, that fight at the Sentry, it changed everything, and it was, in hindsight, it was a good decision to actually chase and get an ace out of it. And now they've gotten 1,500 extra gold from the Kraken as well, and now they're definitely in contention.
Yeah, hindsight is 2020, as they say. And now I think we're gonna focus and look at Altia gonna be the main damage source because let's be honest, Kestrel is outranged here. Kestrel is outranged quite severely by the Samuel and by the Kane, so Altia is gonna have to be this man, gonna have to step up and have to provide for the family and feed himself kills. As they start to push it down, now we're seeing this really big power shift to Gumpy. Why are Humpers moving aggressively when they couldn't before? Oh, Samuel gets hooked. What a huge, huge pick for the Humpers. But Samuel's taken down so very quickly. The slumbering husk by Altia keeps him alive. Dienzio's inting. He's inting. He's not doing enough damage. Kosami is right in the middle of it. He's missing Kosami. That break that down. Break that down for us, Guppy.
Well, honestly, we see the movement, right? We see from the beginning, we see the movement from Yates very aggressive. He knows that he has a team that can follow up, and he knows that he has the advantage when it comes to pulling. And that's exactly what he did. He pulls the Samuel, so much damage, even with the boots, everything, the fountain, Samuel still goes down.
Okay, so remember when I said Chubby Bunnies renting? I
Yeah,
think I think I said the wrong word there. I meant Humpers, right? I meant Humpers because why are you overstaying when Samuel's on a 5-second death timer? Like, look, at this point, these are 2 kills onto the Kestrel and onto the Samuel. That's an ace. So those are ace buffed minions. It's gonna take them roughly 20 seconds to push down into the base if they want to, but they're gonna start off the Kraken. Petal is not up for 10 seconds, which means that they can take this Kraken pretty freely, to be honest. I'm a little bit worried here.
yeah, same. Honestly, the Kraken, it'll definitely be taken by Chubby Bunnies. The one saving grace is that there are still 2 turrets left for the side of Humpers. It might not be game over just yet, but they have to be really careful how they approach this next situation, because if even one of them dies, that could perhaps be the final Kraken push of this whole tourney.
And look, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think EH should be pulling into the base. I really don't. Okay, so Altia is able to get some damage down. The 1-shot 1 kill does not connect. The Kraken is secured, unfortunately. And now Altia is going to have to take his barrier train and back off. So here we see if Yates manages to pull one of the enemy team in, I still don't think it's enough to win the game outright. I think what they need to do is they absolutely need to try and take the Baron down to half before it even starts hitting the turrets, because otherwise there's going to be too much damage to the turrets considering how much poke comes out of the Samuel.
Yep, we see Kestrel is kind of differently out of position. She's by the sentry, and here's another fight breaking out.
Huge block by Kosami to stop the steal. Oh, to stop the sleep. Oh my god, Amato is doing some damage to the Kraken while having to kite back. Kosami is caught out a little bit. He's going to die. There's no saving that Yates. It's a 2v1 situation. Altia, it's all on you. Provide for the family, man. Here we go. Neon moves in. The enemy, Chubby Bunnies, is completely full health. Kraken goes down. Now, this could mean that they had the ability to hold off. Gumpy fails the jump off the turret. The Nexus Scourge is open. Kestrel goes down. What are they doing? That's an ace. And it looks like Dienzio, the champion of 2017, Neon Fire, the champion of griefing games, and Nico, I don't know what to say about it, I don't know him, are going to win 900, oh, sorry, whatever amount of money they're getting paid. Okay, I'm not sure. But then Crystal falls. GG, well played. Hopefully Altia puts a thumbs up on every single person. Does he? Does he? Does he? I don't know. Gumpy.
Well, that was much more of a final worthy game, I think. I think just Chubby Bunnies, they were slightly faster into the groove, and
GG.
Humpers just took a lot more